same name, but I'm 60 and you are 1. Unfortunately, I'm living here in London, and you're in your parents' house in New York. Every Christmas, it is my custom to write letters to my relations, and so I am adding you to my list. But what should I write, if we haven't yet met? I only know you from your parents' letters. Should I speculate about what the future may hold and guess the route of your life's journey? That is a foolish activity. Look how far I have traveled from my birthplace of Cary, North Carolina. Who would have imagined, when I was your age, that I'd end up as the American ambassador to the court of St. James here in London? My first 2 decades were spent in North Carolina. I attended the Bingham School up in Hillsborough, and then Trinity College, Durham. I was destined to be a classical Greek scholar, but I never finished my graduate studies. My ambition was to write, and I did write. Books, papers, diaries, and many pieces of journalism. I founded a newspaper in Raleigh and edited and revived the Atlantic Monthly, which some say is now the best and most read magazine in the country. I have traveled widely and concluded that the betterment of mankind, men and women and Negroes, is best served by education. And in my work, I have promoted education. I have helped found a university in Raleigh that is growing in stature. It may soon rival the one in Chapel Hill. But enough about the twists and turns my life journey has taken. No. In my letter to you this Christmas, perhaps I should tell you all about the goings-on in this troubled world, so that in a few years you can look back and marvel that your grandfather survived this Christmas of 1915. These are the darkest days I've experienced since Sherman's forces took over our house in Cary, near the end of that violent disruption of our country some 50 years ago. Europe is being torn apart by war. All my friends in this beautiful city seem to have lost a son, a husband, a brother, and the war shows no sign of ending. Even here in London, we're not safe. Whenever I step out into the street, it has become my habit to look skywards to see if there may be a Zeppelin flying overhead. They're dropping bombs on us. And now the Germans have begun to use poison gas in their attacks on the British and the French positions. What has happened to this civilized world? When I lived in Germany as a young man, they had no ambition to conquer the earth. They were a philosophical people. Studious, mystical, interested in music. It's a terrible thing how a war party has changed a whole nation in such a short time. The German people have deserted their love of philosophy and culture. They've fallen for a cult of patriotic valor and believe that might, however brutal, is right. As ambassador, I have kept our president, my friend, Mr. Woodrow Wilson, informed of the events here in Europe and urged him to join Britain and the Allies. Wilson's problem is that he hasn't lived over here. He does not understand that the Germans are out to conquer. He is naive. He takes the words uttered by politicians as being honest. He's indecisive. Refuses to commit, saying that both sides bear responsibility for this apocalypse. Even the sinking of the Lusitania and the massive loss of American lives has not persuaded him. But enough of these dark thoughts. They're not appropriate for you this Christmas season. You and I share much in common, not just our names. Young man, I admire your philosophy. I am told that you believe in long and frequent naps. I aspire to follow your example. For what is more pleasant in this world than a full belly followed by deep sleep? Your age and mine permit us to indulge such behavior without the criticism of those around us. It is too early for you to bother over problems of self-improvement, as it is too late for me. You pay no attention to how or what others think of you. I, too, have reached this stage of contentment and have learned at last not to care what others think of me. We are alike in the calm of our self-content. You have discovered, and my experience confirms yours, that a perpetual self-consciousness brings misery. Men look at others whom they perceive as more fortunate, or richer, or more famous than they, and they become envious. You have not attained this state of empty vanity. I have long since passed it. Let us, therefore, make our mutual vows not to be disturbed by the good luck of others, and may we continue to keep our lives simple. I honor your philosophy, young man. I will show my esteem for your virtues as I endeavor to imitate them faithfully. With the most affectionate good wishes, your proud, humble, and obedient granddaddy.